Delilah Carrington, a black CEO of a multi-billion-dollar luxury car empire, sees her world shaken when she receives a devastating letter. A black client claims to have been humiliated at one of her dealerships. Determined to uncover the truth, Delilah makes a bold decision. She abandons her flawless appearance and disguises herself as an ordinary customer to visit the dealership undercover. As she reads the letter, her breathing becomes heavy. "I was treated like I didn't belong there," the client wrote. "The salespeople looked at me as if I was there to steal a car, not buy one." Delilah closes her eyes, deeply hurt. As the CEO of Carrington Luxury Cars, renowned worldwide for excellence in customer service, the thought that a client might have been racially discriminated against at one of her dealerships is more than just infuriating, it wounds her deeply. She calls her assistant, Levi, and tells him she needs to go to Los Angeles. When he offers to prepare an official visit, she interrupts him. She wants to go unnoticed, to see things with her own eyes. Levi warns her that the board may not appreciate her conducting a personal investigation, but Delilah is unwavering. "A black man walked into my dealership ready to spend over $200,000, and left humiliated. I want to understand why." 3 days later, Delilah parks a rental car a few blocks from the Carrington dealership in Los Angeles. Gone is her elegant suit. She now wears jeans, a simple shirt, and sneakers. As she walks in, she's greeted by an air-conditioned showroom showcasing luxury vehicles under precise lighting. 3 salespeople are chatting at the central desk. One briefly glances at her before continuing his conversation. Delilah spends 10 minutes wandering through the cars. No one approaches her. Then a white couple enters, and within 5 seconds, 2 salespeople rush over to assist them enthusiastically. Delilah feels a knot form in her stomach. She approaches the counter where the third salesman, Mark, is seated. She says she's interested in the Galaxy GT model. Mark looks her up and down before informing her, condescendingly, that the Galaxy starts at $150,000. She replies that she knows and would like to test drive it. Mark hesitates, saying they usually require appointments for that model. At that moment, a tall man in a flawless suit emerges from an office. Delilah instantly recognizes him from photographs, Emerson Vance, the dealership manager. He walks right past her without acknowledging her and warmly greets the white couple. Moments later, the couple is taken straight to view premium models. While Mark informs Delilah that, unfortunately, no Galaxy is available for a test drive. She stays for another hour, long enough to witness 3 other black customers receive the same dismissive treatment. She sees salespeople whisper and grumble when a black woman inquires about an accessory's price. Emerson Vance discreetly instructs staff to redirect black clients to certain models, even when one well-dressed black man asks to see the brand's latest release. As Delilah leaves the dealership, her hands tremble, not from nerves, but from anger. She calls Levi. "I think we've figured out why our California sales are weak. Contact legal. Bring a camera. We're going to need proof." Back at her hotel, she can't stop thinking about what she witnessed. This wasn't a training error. It wasn't a one-time mistake. It was systematic. It was intentional. And it was happening under the name her father had built and she had inherited. In the glow of her laptop screen, she studies sales figures segmented by ethnicity. The data is damning. Black and Latino customers convert at half the rate of white customers. Levi reviews emails that reveal vague but coded language from Emerson about better qualifying clients, thinly veiled racial profiling. Delilah breathes deeply. We need irrefutable proof. Something they can't deny. The next morning, at 11 a.m., a white man named Quentin, an actor hired by Delilah, enters the dealership dressed just like she had been the day before. A hidden camera in his shirt captures everything. From across the street, Delilah and Levi watch live on a tablet. The contrast is immediate. Emerson Vance greets Quentin personally, offers him coffee, and leads him to the most exclusive models. No questions are asked about his finances. He's offered a test drive immediately, with full details on financing and customization options. Did you see how he smiled? Delilah says. Yesterday, that same man didn't even look at me. After 40 minutes of clear footage, Levi says, we have everything we need. As they prepare to leave, Delilah spots a young woman exiting the dealership. There's something about her expression, resignation mixed with discomfort, that draws Delilah's attention. She asks Levi to stop the car and follows the woman into a nearby cafe. Approaching her table, Delilah asks to sit. The woman, whose badge reads Gabriel Aragon, sales advisor, is surprised. Yes, of course, Gabriel replies. Delilah reveals her identity. Gabriel nearly spills her coffee. Mrs. Carrington? I didn't know you were in town. No one knows. And I'd like it to stay that way. Gabriel immediately understands. It's about the customer's email, isn't it? Mr. Thompson? Delilah is surprised. You know about it? Gabriel nods. I was the one who first greeted him. I tried to help, but Emerson has unofficial rules. When I stepped away to get a catalog, he took over. Mr. Thompson left furious. Delilah leans in. Gabriel, does this happen often? Every day, Gabriel admits. When someone walks in who doesn't fit the ideal profile, we use coded phrases on the radio. Visitor in VIP zone means we should be discouraging. And you go along with this? I need this job, Gabriel says with emotion. My mother is sick. I have medical bills. But every time she turns someone away because of their skin color, she feels like she loses a piece of herself. Over the next hour, Gabriel reveals more coded emails, team meetings where Emerson gives direct instructions on how to filter clients, and bonuses for staff who maintain the client standard. Meanwhile, back at the dealership, Emerson Vance notices Gabriel's extended absence. He also recalls seeing someone access sensitive sales data the night before. Reviewing security footage, he recognizes the woman Mark had brushed off. There's something familiar about her. He calls security, check all the footage from the last 3 days. Find a black woman, around 40, curly hair. And find Gabriel Aragon. Back at the cafe, Delilah makes Gabriel an offer. I need someone inside who knows the system. Someone who can help me document what's happening. He'll figure it out, Gabriel says, nervous. Emerson sees everything. I can protect you, Delilah promises. I'll guarantee you another job if needed. At that moment, Gabriel's phone buzzes, a message from a colleague, Emerson is looking for you. He's furious. Gabriel looks up. It might already be too late. Back in New York, the Carrington Luxury Cars boardroom is filled with tension. Delilah, now returned to her polished appearance, stands before the 12 board members. Behind her, evidence from Los Angeles, videos, statistics, testimonies, plays on a giant screen. This is not just discrimination, she tells them. This is a systematic policy that goes against everything this company stands for. Richard Lockhart, director of operations and a known ally of Emerson, pushes back. With all due respect, Delilah, this feels more like a personal crusade than a real business issue. Our sales in Los Angeles are excellent. Excellent for whom? She replies. For white customers. We're excluding people ready to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. The debate continues for hours. Some board members are genuinely shocked. Others, led by Lockhart, try to downplay the issue, proposing mild training instead of serious reforms. The next morning, Delilah opens the Wall Street Journal with trembling hands. The headline is damning, heir to Carrington plays the race card to consolidate power, sources say. The article cites anonymous insiders who suggest Delilah is exaggerating isolated events to eliminate rivals on the board. How could they publish that so fast? She asks, stunned. It's Lockhart, she says bitterly. He has press connections. He's declared war. In the days that follow, things spiral. Concerned investors begin to call. Other media outlets pick up the story, some accusing Delilah of using racial tensions to cover up financial issues. Meanwhile, Emerson Vance, far from backing down, gives several interviews defending his practices and painting Delilah as out of touch with the luxury market. One night, while she's working late in her office, the door opens. It's Emerson. I thought we should. Emerson entered Delilah's office uninvited, insisting they speak directly. Delilah coldly replied there was nothing to discuss, but Emerson disagreed, claiming her crusade was beginning to affect stock prices and that board members were questioning her leadership. Delilah asked if he was trying to intimidate her, to which Emerson claimed he was trying to save her career. He explained that in the luxury car industry, identifying high-value clients quickly, based on probabilities, not race, he insisted, was simply business, not personal. Delilah, angered, challenged his view, refusing the idea of sweeping the discrimination under the rug for the sake of appearances. Emerson warned her that her father had known when to fight and when to retreat, and that this was a fight she couldn't win. After he left, Delilah, still reeling, called Levi. She needed more undeniable proof, something even Lockhart couldn't ignore. Meanwhile, Gabriel hadn't slept for 2 nights, haunted by Emerson's thinly veiled threats. The pressure intensified the following day when Bloomberg published a scathing article questioning Delilah's leadership, accusing her of prioritizing activism over business. Inside Delilah's office, Levi informed her that 3 board members had expressed concerns. Delilah, staring at her reflection, began to doubt herself, wondering if the battle was already lost. Just then, a message came through from an unknown number. It was Gabriel Aragon. 2 hours later, in a secluded park, he handed Delilah a USB drive containing internal emails from the past 3 years. The documents detailed explicit instructions from Emerson and Lockhart on how to maintain a desirable clientele, including sales charts broken down by ethnicity and strategies to discourage certain clients. Delilah asked why he had chosen to share them now. Gabriel, eyes misty, explained that his mother had seen the coverage and asked him what kind of man he would be if he stayed silent while someone else fought for justice. He might lose his job, he admitted, but he refused to lose his integrity. The next morning, the New York Times published a bombshell article, Systemic Discrimination in the Luxury Industry. The leaked emails were damning. Social media erupted with clients sharing similar stories of discrimination in high-end dealerships. Competitor brands quickly released statements reaffirming their commitment to diversity. Carrington Luxury Cars convened an emergency board meeting. Emerson's chair was empty, and Lockhart looked visibly aged. When asked if the emails were authentic, Delilah confirmed they were, and that there were more. After hours of debate, the board dismissed both Emerson and Lockhart and ordered a full audit of all dealerships. Outside the meeting, Levi informed Delilah that Emerson had attempted to erase the emails after the article dropped, but it was too late. Exhausted yet triumphant, Delilah knew this was just one battle in a longer war. 6 weeks later, Delilah held her first press conference. Standing before a packed auditorium of journalists, she acknowledged not just the past but the future. She revealed the findings of the internal investigation. Discriminatory practices were widespread and systematic. The crisis, she said, was a chance to lead meaningful change. She announced the Excellence for All program, mandatory diversity and inclusion training for all employees, revised sales protocols to ensure equal treatment, and the creation of a Director of Diversity and Inclusion role with real oversight. She then introduced the most important initiative, a mystery client program. People of various backgrounds, ages, and genders would regularly visit dealerships to assess compliance. The results would be transparent and public. Journalists asked pointed questions about the financial impact. Delilah calmly replied that while change had a cost, the cost of exclusion, morally and financially, was far greater. Toward the end, one journalist asked the question many avoided: as a black woman CEO, how had Delilah failed to notice what was happening within her own company? A heavy silence followed. Delilah looked the reporter in the eye and admitted the failure. She had wrongly assumed that her position at the top meant progress had been made. Sometimes, she said, you have to step off the pedestal to see what's happening on the ground. Leadership wasn't just about opening doors, but keeping them open for everyone. 3 months later, change was visible at the Carrington headquarters in Portland. New, diverse faces held key positions, including Gabriel, now Director of Training and Inclusive Culture. From a high-rise meeting room, Delilah reviewed early results. Sales among Black and Latino customers had risen by 47% in the last quarter, and overall sales were up 12%. Levi added that several competitors had launched similar reforms, and Lux Motors even sought Carrington's guidance. Just then, Gabriel entered with something he thought she'd want to see, a letter. It was from Mr. Thompson, the client whose complaint had sparked everything. He had just bought the Galaxy GT. The salesperson was respectful and professional. For the first time in years, he said, he didn't feel like an outsider in a luxury dealership. "Thank you for making the difference," the letter concluded. Overcome with emotion, Delilah placed the letter on the table and instructed Levi to call the marketing team. She wanted to launch a national campaign, "Luxury is for everyone who dreams of it." That night, alone in her office, Delilah looked out over the lights of Portland. She thought of her father, of the legacy she was now reshaping. She thought of Gabriel, who had risked everything for the truth. And of people like Thompson, who simply wanted to be treated with dignity. She knew the fight wasn't over, there would be backlash, new obstacles, but for now, she allowed herself a moment of hope. Her phone buzzed, another alert. Yet another luxury brand had been accused of discriminatory practices. Delilah smiled faintly. The revolution in the industry had only just begun, and she was ready to lead it. Closing her laptop, she made a silent vow: this victory would not be fleeting. It would be the start of a permanent transformation, one her name would help build. The story ends with a reflection: fighting for what is right is never easy. There will always be resistance, voices trying to silence the truth, and moments when giving up feels tempting. But as Delilah's journey shows, one determined person, supported by others as brave as Gabriel, can spark a revolution. And you? Have you ever witnessed or experienced discrimination others chose to ignore? Share your story. Your voice can inspire others to act. Just like Delilah transformed her business, together we can transform our world, one conversation, one action, one person at a time.